Hi, crypto fans. Well, today we have a very special video. We are doing a collaboration video about airdrops, of course, with Krypto Cove and CCS, cryptocurrency state. So today we are going to, of course, check everything. How is the space on crypto airdrops? What are the best airdrops that we think are worth it right now? And all our strategies and insights on airdrops. So I present myself. My name is Santiago. I'm original from Argentina, and right now I live between New York and Argentina. I started in crypto in 2017, starting with trading, started to study trading. I spent 2 years before doing my first trade, so I took it really serious. And started my channel in 2018, but then I was too focused on crypto investments and trading that I dropped it. And 3 years ago, I come back to the channel. And in the last 2 years and a half, I would say, I focused the channel completely into airdrops, which is what I'm most passionate right now, because I think it's a safer way instead of trading that help people to earn money in crypto right now, besides investing in portfolio, right? So that is me.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, everyone. Krypto Cove here, YouTuber. You may also know me from shit posting on Twitter. But yeah, I started creating content in the crypto space about, I don't know, 10 months ago, let's say. And then I pivoted into airdrops as well, like as my primary focus, simply because A, I think the opportunity was there and is still there. And then B, obviously, there's a pretty significant audience that also likes airdrops. So that's kind of the genesis of how this all started. I've been in crypto since 2017, started off just as a passive investor. And then, the longer you stay in it, the more degen you get. And eventually I decided, I'll start actually making videos of some of the stuff that I'm doing and share what I've learned. So that's how this has come to be. And at this point, yeah, got my YouTube channel, got a Discord community, and heavily into farming airdrops and yield, but mostly airdrops. And actually, I like what you said before about the safety aspect, which is something I feel like, meme coin traders take on a lot of risk to get those 100x gains that you see. And there's a lot of survivorship bias there as well with what you see on Twitter, people making ridiculous gains. But when it comes to airdrop farming or yield farming in general, if you do it right, you really minimize your risk and you still actually get, pretty significant multipliers on your capital over a decent period of time. So in that sense, yeah, that's why I prefer personally also to focus on farming rather than trading.
So my name is Boris. I have been in crypto since like late 2021, but I got burned so much by peak of bull run. So when I first discovered airdrops, it was about the end of 2022, maybe October, something like that. And it was with Aptos. It was literally about 15 minutes of work for over $1,000. And that was when I first saw the potential that people can really make with this specific niche. And ever since then, I've been really active in the space, farming everything that you should and you shouldn't. And then with our Discord, with everything that happened in 2023, things really took a whole new level. And yeah, since 2023, I've been mostly focused on specific niche airdrops as well as the bigger ones. Of course, Layer 0, ZkSync are finished now. So we have really an amazing opportunity to find slightly more under the radar opportunities and projects to really get those gains that are really unheard of in other spaces in DeFi. Yield is great, but airdrops offer non-linear returns. And this is what attracts me the most, to make meme coin type of gains with minimizing the risk, like you guys said earlier.
Okay, guys. Well, the crypto airdrop market has been changing a lot of the last years. Like we mentioned, for at least for me, I have been doing airdrops the last 3 years. And from 2024, we started to claim a lot of airdrops. But at the same time, the airdrop eligibility criteria for many things has been changing. So I want to share with you how I think and how I see the crypto airdrop market right now. Okay, so airdrops right now, we have many airdrops. Each day more projects launch airdrops, so it's starting to get like a common thing. But my strategy right now is first to identify the type of airdrops so I can have better decisions on in what I want to spend my money on time. and what I think is not really rewarded, at least for my airdrop strategy right now. So from 2024, I started this passive airdrop strategy. I know many of you are doing it in cryptocurrency state, but I created 12 wallets and I stake Cosmos, Celestial, Dymension, and Pyth tokens. This has been a passive airdrop strategy, meaning that just for staking on the governance protocols, some of the airdrops were passive. So many projects launching on Dymension, also in Celestia, I receive a couple of airdrops. These are airdrops that are not super significant and are usually small projects or new projects with not big funding. But in my 12 wallet strategy, I have to say that have some weight, because I have a couple of hundreds of dollars each time that one of these airdrops on this ecosystem happen. And for me, it's like, I really believe in these 4 projects, Atom, Celestial, Dymension, and Pyth. So I don't feel that I have too much risk on this, because I think these tokens are going to perform well in the bull run. So for me, this is my first strategy, which is passive.
You still don't have Jupiter. How do you still not have Jupiter in this list? I don't understand. Come on.
Yeah, I farmed Jupiter. I forgot to add it like a passive airdrop.
Okay, so Jupiter as well. That's good. Because the last airdrop from Jupiter was a very nice surprise.
And of course, these are not all the projects that I'm listing here. At some point, I have Ushira, but right now I went out from that position. So don't take this like the ultimate word, right? So this is only some of the projects, or at least my strategy. You can expand on everything here. What I just want to share here is like, what are the niches more than. So second, I have specific projects. And for specific projects, I don't count some of them like for staking projects. This is another niche for me. Specific projects are more like projects with good funding, but where you cannot just deposit money and wait for points. So you need to do actions. And that is usually, from my perspective, better, because you will find less whales doing it. Because whales, the only thing that they want is to put capital and get passively airdrops, like we saw with Eigenlayer. So, for example, Immutable right now has more than 200 millions, but you need to daily claim your gems. You need to play games to get all those rewards. So I think it's a good airdrop. It's not super easy to farm, and it's not super contaminated by whales right now. I put Scroll here, but Scroll actually is already entering in that category that if you put money there, you will be fine getting the marks and sessions. So it's not really there. So this is my second category. The third category is restaking. 2024 is crazy with this. And I think it's a good strategy, but it's only if you have a lot of capital to put in. We saw what happened with Justin Sun just putting millions and millions to receive the Eigenlayer airdrop. So we really cannot compete with them. So that is why I put red in this. It's easy to apply and get the airdrop, but I didn't saw good results with this strategy. I am in some of these strategies, but I think I could use my money sometimes in a better way, or at least, I don't know, the funds to another airdrops. Right now, I did a video 2 days ago about Fuel, and Fuel is the same. I mean, they have 82 in funding, but you just need to put the money there and you will receive points. So even if you receive those points daily, one whale can appear 2 days before end with $2 million, and they will stall all your rewards, really. So I think this is a great niche if you have capital to spend there. Bridges, I think, is a very interesting niche, and I really like this. Wormhole and Layer 0, at least from my perspective, were very good airdrops. This could be also full of whales, but you really need to do transactions. So it's more difficult for whales to really get into everything. So yeah, right now I think Hyperlink is one of the very good bridges to do right now. But of course, consider that the funding is 18 million. It's not 200 million like Layer 0 or Wormhole. So I think we are expecting less rewards, but still I think there are many opportunities, not only this project, there are many other good bridge projects that suddenly they could launch the airdrop. Another niche is perpetual exchanges. Boris covered a lot about this in cryptocurrency state. This is also not super farmed by whales because you really need to trade there. So you are exposing your capital in trading to generate volume. Always you collect points on these airdrops. It's like many other protocols. But I think if you can really minimize your risk doing some good trading strategies, and of course you will lose a little bit of money, but you can generate a lot of volume for these airdrops. And I think usually are very well rewarded, like Zeta Markets and GRBT probably soon when they launch the Perpetual Exchange is going to be in this category too.
If I may mention Drift, you didn't mention Drift. Drift was the biggest printer for you also, Cove, right? Because Zeta was like, okay, but Drift paid so much proportionally, right, from Perpetual Exchanges. Parcel, not so bad also. But what was your best Perpetual Exchange, Cove?
I did better on Zeta than on Drift, actually, personally. And I am not farming all perps. I find like trading on perp decks is super time consuming and also high risk. High risk and high reward. If you open up delta neutral trades using like 2 dexes, then that could be good. You could go long on Zeta, short on Drift or whatever. But I don't know. I just don't have the time to trade on perp dexes these days. So I'm not actively farming any at this point. After Zeta, like I have not been trading on any perp dexes.
I just want to say that confirms my theory that not many people is actually farming this because it's more complex. And yeah, you have your risk on your capital.
You can get red. And if you let's say you get liquidated on a 10x long leverage trade and the airdrop doesn't cook, then you could end up actually being net negative after farming something like this, which is difficult to do with some other types of airdrops, you know. So
people always forget that funding fees cost so much. Like on Intentx, you're paying like $1.50 for a 2.5K position volume. That's crazy. Like funding fees can really ramp up if you keep a position open because you don't want to close in a negative. So yeah, it's just a lot of things to
people don't. I don't think people understand trading on perp dexes that much. They don't understand the strategies to minimize risk and the costs as well. And yeah, you leave a trade open for a few weeks because you think it's doing well, or you're waiting for it to be, you know, in profit before you close it, and then it just keeps going down. And it's definitely a risky game, and I never recommend trading on perp dexes for people that do not have at least intermediate to advanced knowledge.
100%. I think that is a very good warning to everyone watching this video. But yeah, I think for me it's a niche. At least I can categorize like a niche if you're interested in that. And if you are a trader, so it will be one of your best niche to do airdrops. So to finalize the list, I have testnet free airdrops right now. At some point, we were doing all the airdrops that appear in a testnet. Right now, we call them the confirmed ones, incentivized testnet. So the project already confirmed it. And this is really if you don't have capital to do anything else. I have very good success with Zeta Chain, but that started in 2021, I think even. So I did a lot, and the snapshot was like in June of 2023. Actually, they paid in February of this year. But usually testnets are not super profitable. And something that you can see here is that usually they don't have too much funding. So it's difficult to know how much you can expect. And my last experience with Fuse and others is that they change too much the criteria over time. So some of them say, well, this is an incentivized testnet for 1 month. And after the month ends, they extend to another month. So it doesn't work really. One exception is Vechain here, but I'm not 100% that they are going to reward the testnet right now. It's not confirmed that they are going to do that. So they have a lot of funding, but probably it's going to move into mainnet, and there is where we are going to need to interact a lot. But if you don't have really liquidity, I think it's worth to try it at least. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, like, you were talking about with linear airdrops that whales have the massive advantage and you can't even compete, right? So let's say Justin Sun comes in with $1 billion, deposits it into Swell, and then eats up 90% of the airdrop if it's fully linear. Well, when we're talking about testnets like this, I feel like you also can't compete unless you're willing to dedicate like 4 or 5 hours a day to just clicking buttons, because you're competing against click farms in China, in the Philippines, wherever, where they have like, you know, walls of computers and phones, and Like how can you possibly compete with that either?
Yeah, it doesn't seem logical.
Yeah,
Besides,
well,
Vechain has millions of wallets.
a couple of examples of those is Initia and Sintor. I don't know if you have been checking those. Initia, you have this genie, like a Tamagotchi, that you need to do actions. It was not easy. The Tamagotchi was dead if you didn't buy the meal and everything. So I
had no
think
idea.
that one is not really easy to farm. I don't know if you have
Okay.
really bots that could do that task. And Sinter, you need to interact with C-Lite to get points, to get the testnet transactions. I was doing those two. I actually did those two. So I think whales are not doing them. But again, the reward could be small because they don't have really much funding.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe you get a couple of hundreds, $200. So that is not bad if you have the time and you don't have money. In some countries, $200 could be significantly. So yeah, I think I will mention like testnets is for those specific cases that you want.
For sure, for sure. And like with Tyco, for example, Tyco testnet rewarded participants. I think like $100. In the end, I don't know if it was actually worth the amount of time that I spent, but I fully agree with you. If you have no capital and lots of time and you live in a place where a couple $100 makes a massive difference, then those are solid projects for sure.
I have like under the radar projects. This is a category that it could be also specific projects, but I tried some of them, like just very new projects. I don't really know the capital behind the companies, but some of them have 800 participants. And I think the project was really good. But yeah, this under the radar project it's also for being tested. That is why I put orange. Some of them work, some of them not. So I don't know. And finally, we have ecosystem airdrops. We are familiar with this. And here is where the very 2-per-1 airdrop, 3-per-1 airdrop strategies begins, which is super important to do. If you are doing a specific airdrop or in Say, maybe you needed to put some liquidity pools there, then you are participating also in Say, which happened here on the last reward. So ecosystem airdrops, you can actively trade or do transactions on specific ecosystems, or you can do like other types of airdrops in this ecosystem, so you will be participating also. One example is Aptos. I think we should get an airdrop soon, and I think it's going to be a surprise airdrop too, not a point system or something like that. And those are actually very good airdrops. Optimism already did 4. Nobody knew about the airdrops. I happen to be doing NFTs on Zora, and I got on all my wallets Optimism 4, and it was great. So yeah, I think you always can be working on this niche when you do other airdrops on other niches. But yeah.
Absolutely. I would just add the BRC20 ecosystem, because if you're talking about under the radar opportunities, there is no better way to make money if you're willing to pay those Bitcoin gas fees and just fund a new wallet and do everything completely new, because it's been such a good ecosystem to farm for the last year, but it is so hit and miss. And if you're not surrounded with people who are actively farming it, you're going to miss so much, like if I hadn't actually seen people talking about that pizza thing in late May, of course I would miss that claim. Like who the hell knows about that? Who talks about that? Maybe there's like 10,000 wallets, or maybe I said too little, but less than 50,000 wallets for sure in the whole world are even interacting on this ecosystem. And that means it's like probably 5 to 10,000 people in the world if you have about 50,000 wallets. So yeah, that space is crazy. And I highly recommend that if you have the attention to actually give some time and energy to this ecosystem, even a couple $100 is enough to get you started. Like buy some Bitcoin NFTs, buy some runes, but runes are super speculative and not the best. But there's this thing called Fractal Bitcoin. It's coming in September. That's going to be insane. Imagine Ethereum transaction fees and finality and speed on Bitcoin. So that's what we can expect in September. So I'm really, really looking forward to that update and change. So yeah, just remember these words, Fractal Bitcoin. And if you want to research it, just give it a go. There's stuff going on already on Twitter, that kind of stuff. Block runners and even that guy Francis Dune, these two guys usually give some important updates for the space. Of course, you have Leonidas, but he's more into runes, and runes are kind of dead, kind of. So yeah, but this is a great niche, really. If you want to do stuff in Bitcoin, it's very, very recommended. Cove, do you have something for Solana? If you're doing something still in Solana?
Yeah, I mean, so with Solana, I feel like it's dried up a little bit, but there's still some opportunities for sure. There was a few disappointments, and like Camino being fully linear, and then now Sanctum has come out and said that they're going fully linear.
5+5.
And with Sanctum, like the amount of money that was farming that airdrop was insane. Like I was using, I don't know, like 40 SOL, something like that, maybe 40, 50 SOL, which is like kind of a decent amount of money to be farming one airdrop. And I barely cracked the top 10K wallets, which tells you something. Like, so the fact that they're doing fully linear and the first place wallet, had like hundreds of millions of dollars just means that the vast majority of people are going to get peanuts. And the same thing with Camino Finance. So some disappointments there. So when it comes to Solana, I feel like it's hit and miss. And I am still farming some airdrops. So I'm farming Meteora with LP in their DLMM pools, although that could end up being linear too. And so even I'm farming with like 5K, something like that. So not a huge amount of capital. If they go fully linear, probably not going to get too much of that. I'm farming Solayer as well, which is the Solana restaking narrative. And I don't know. I'm not actually fully convinced on that narrative within the Solana ecosystem, but I'm farming it anyways, just because FOMO. And then in terms of some actual like potential cookers, well, Parcel Season 2 or Perpetual Season 1, whatever they're calling it, just ended. And that was like actually an under the radar play that a lot of people stopped farming Parcel after Season 1 because of disappointment. And then in Season 2, it was actually very, very easy to rank up, to get high up on the leaderboard and to get a solid allocation. So I got a decent allocation, and a bunch of people in my Discord and my community ended up getting like ridiculous allocations. One guy for trading got like over 100K Parcel tokens. So pretty solid there. Yeah, Parcel.
Oh, damn. That's amazing. Yeah. It's great how the tide turns sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And so that just tells you like, you can't necessarily ignore previous things. Like, okay, crypto is like a hot ball of money, right? And it's always like mercenary capital bouncing around trying to find the next shiny new thing. But then sometimes it's like, the kid dropping the toy that they're playing with to go play with the new toy, but like the old toy is still like, there was a lot in that. Yeah, exactly. So with Parcel, I think that was actually the case. And there's going to be other ones like that, for sure. And within the Solana ecosystem, there's other stuff too. I'm actually doing some stuff with NFTs. Like I have these Pycinian undeads, which I'm hoping will get some like airdrops from Solana ecosystem players. I've got some these Trident NFTs, which there's this new NFT standard. I got Deep Pioneers, and these are both kind of similar, where the NFT is like backed by real tokens. You can actually exchange it, or you can stake it. Like there's some interesting stuff happening there for sure. But Solana ecosystem, I would say, is not like my primary focus at this point, just because I feel like, I don't know, like the airdrop opportunity anyways, it seems a bit lighter than what I see within the Ethereum ecosystem.
I would just maybe mention finally the Telegram network, because I've seen that, Patrick from Dynamo DeFi, he was talking about Solana before Jito, so I've started to realize that he's actually, you oftentimes bring a lot of alpha. So he was talking about Telegram, and you were talking about Telegram at the same time, I think, and then everybody was jumping on this Telegram train, and the ecosystem is really picking up steam. Like if the airdrops, they have so many points programs in the Telegram ecosystem, like from, I don't remember the names, like Ton Stakers and that kind of stuff. So many ecosystem dApps have some points there. So I think if people really want to focus on some under the radar niches, probably Aptos, which is going to give half of the token supply still for the airdrop, like 49% still left for the airdrop. I would go with Aptos and Telegram. Maybe those are the best underfarmed, under the radar niches Like Crypto Twitter says Telegram is already overfarmed, but I really don't think it is. Just how many people even have Telegram wallet?
Yeah,
1 in 100, maybe. I probably said too much.
Telegram
Something to think about.
It's really underfarmed. It's not so easy either yet. You really need to get those Telegram wallets, and a lot is in Telegram, like the games and many other things. But I did a video 2 weeks ago, and the top, if you go to DeFi Llama, like the top 6 projects, all those are right now with a point system program for airdrops, like you said. And it's really under the radar. Yeah. It's a great ecosystem to add into that.
I feel like Telegram is under the radar maybe in North America, but globally it's more popular just because the app itself is more popular globally than in North America specifically. And I don't know if that's bullish or bearish or what, but that's my take.
Okay.
And then when it comes to Aptos, they have a big conference coming up in September. So I'm wondering if that might be like an opportunity for them potentially to make an announcement. It's kind of been quiet over there for a while. Like they have this huge supply of tokens just waiting to do something with, no news. They have this major conference coming up. Yes. I don't know. Can we get an airdrop?
Yeah, I think that I tried to time the market a little bit, because ZkSync Layer 0, they went into not the best moment for dropping a new token. Many projects happened that on the last month.
Wormhole, oh my God, Wormhole.
Yeah, September, it could be a very nice moment to drop something.
Airdrops, it kind of comes in waves from what I've seen. I've been farming for a few years now. And I think in, like May, beginning of June, we went through like a peak for sure in terms of the number of tokens that were launching. And it's dropped off a bit since then, but in my opinion, it's actually a good thing because there's too many new tokens being launched. There's not enough liquidity in the market to absorb them. Exactly. And then so on launch day, all you see is like a red candle straight to zero, basically. So a little bit of that needed to kind of just like get out of the system. And I think airdrop ecosystem is a little bit healthier at this point. And then I also think some people have kind of given up after a few disappointments. And even if 1 in 10 airdrops ends up actually being really good, let's say you farmed like 8 or 9 of the ones that weren't, then you get disappointed and you leave the ecosystem. So I feel like we've actually seen sort of a drop in the number of tokens launching, a drop in just like the general market sentiment around airdrops. But I still see a lot of decent opportunities. And I still rather would farm airdrops with sort of a black box in terms of you don't know what the reward is going to be, rather than farm linear yield to get like 10% on stable coins or something like that. Exactly. Because you want that like uncapped upside, right? And then so in my opinion, what it boils down to is you got to assess what opportunities right now actually might have that uncapped upside. And so for me, one of the main ones that I've been aping into with a pretty significant chunk of capital across multiple wallets is Mantle's new Metamorphosis campaign, farming this Cook token that they're dropping. And, that's like a TVL-based airdrop. So if you have a decent chunk of capital, you can probably get a solid allocation from that. But if you don't have a lot of capital, there's other more activity-based airdrops that are solid opportunities. Parcel I spoke about previously, like people were trading. A lot of people stopped farming that after season 1, and the ones that stayed farming like won massively. But we've also got Tyco, and like so many people in my Discord are aggressively farming Tyco every day, pushing buttons and ranking up. So I want to say like in the top like 1% of wallets in Tyco, like many of them are in my Discord. And then another one that's kind of under the radar is season 2 for Mode. So I know Mode left kind of like a sour taste in everyone's mouth after season 1. But recently they introduced activity points. And so if you're not a whale, you can rank up very quickly and easily just by pushing a few swaps, moving some money around on the network. You can get activity points and you can rank up in the top like 1,000 wallets like very, very quickly. But since most people stopped farming it after season 1 because they thought, oh, this is a whales game, then that just makes that even better, you know? So there's definitely still opportunities out there if you're farming for TVL and you just want to farm passively, or if you're farming for clicking buttons and you want to be like, you know, an active farmer.
100%.
Definitely.
Super valuable information. Yeah. Actually, I was one of those that give up on Parcel after the first round.
Yeah.
Me too, kind of.
And like, that's the hard part, right? Because you honestly never know, even if you have a super strong conviction, oh, this airdrop is going to cook. This is going to be like a 4 or 5 figure drop. And then, you know, you literally never know. I want to say at this point, like 1 of 10 projects that drops a token actually ends up being like really, really solid. But, you know, people get disappointed with the ones that aren't. But, you know, if you stop farming, then you're going to miss the ones that are. So
my thing with Tyco is that they have 34 million in funding. So I don't see them like a super mega project. That is my only concern, to super farm that airdrop. I may be wrong. Maybe they get a very juicy airdrop at the end. But
it's tier based for sure, because they have levels or ranks. And if you are in the like rank 13 or rank 12, like the top ones, it will be solid. I'm personally not doing it because, like, in order to farm it correctly, you need to spend like, you know, a couple hours a day pushing buttons basically. And that is a grind. But I think for the people that do it, it's going to pay off.
Maybe I would just mention the Boost XYZ platform once again, because I know that a lot of us here really love farming Zora. Zora might be one of those hookers. We will see. So if you're actively farming Zora, you always had this sunk cost of about $2 to $3 that you had to pay for the NFT. And that's usually just worthless. But in the recent developments, there's a DApp that basically lets creators fund people who are going to buy their NFTs. So they list it on Boost platform. Then you mint the NFT on Boost, which is a Zora NFT. And then you can claim 80 to 90, even more than 100% of the price on Zora. They refund you this amount. So you're basically farming Boost, which has leaderboard and points as well, and Zora for free. So that is incredible. If you still have not done that, because I know a lot of us are also farming Enjoy, but yeah, this is much more efficient, capital efficient and time efficient way to farm Zora, for sure. Boost platform. 3 airdrops. If you had to pick only 3 airdrops or 3 projects, 3 ecosystems, what would be those 3 projects to focus on right now in July 2024? This is like a question.
My main priorities, well, I already mentioned Cook/Metamorphosis. So this is the new restaking narrative on the Mantle L2. Mantle has billions of dollars in their treasury. There's no other L2 like it with that much funding, which means they can see liquidity. They can actually launch a project with a high FTV. Restaking, obviously, that narrative is big. And I think Mantle is going to take like a pretty sizable market share. So I'm farming that with a lot of capital. Then in terms of, let's say, Solana ecosystem, I like the Jupiter Meteora, you know, like project. They're all intertwined. They got Jupiter, Meteora, the LFG Launchpad. They got the When meme coin. Like all of that is owned and run by the same team. And I feel like those projects are all solid ones to farm. So Jupiter round 2 is going to be in January 2025, which is a ways away. But by farming one, you can farm the others. So, you know, you provide liquidity on Meteora, you hold some JubeSoul tokens, you stake Jube, you buy some JLP. I know there's lots of different ways to farm it, but that as a whole, I think is like top priority for me within the Solana ecosystem. And then like if we're going to sort of diversify and talk about Cosmos, I'm still staking a lot of the same tokens that you guys are staking, but I've kind of soured a little bit. Like I'm not going to actively unstake and sell, especially not at these prices. But I thought that there would be more than what we've seen with like TS staking and Dime staking. So
for me, maybe my top 3, Scroll has dropped out of top 3 for sure. For me, it would be Hyperlane, then something in Aptos ecosystem, like the big 3, the Amnis, Arius, and what was the third one? We can find the third one, whatever. And then probably Telegram probably Telegram ecosystem and Bitcoin. Damn it! No, no, I have to choose three. No, Bitcoin ecosystem, Aptos, and Telegram. Those would be my big three for sure. And then all the dApps there. And then if I had to add bridges and interoperability, then yeah, Wormhole Season 2 and Hyperlink. But yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to choose just three, but those are my 3.5, if we can count bridges as half. So those would be mine, definitely.
For my side, I will keep like this strategy to 2x1, 3x1. I am really focusing on that right now. So I think Telegram is a good place to do airdrop right now. I am doing that. I think Aptos is going to happen this year, and it's going to be big because I don't think they are going to announce anything. I have Scroll in process, but my expectations are low. But I have that farming right now with multiple wallets. I have a couple of restaking protocols and all that we discussed it, but it's not my primary focus right now. And I need to get more into BRC20 because in my Discord, many are doing a lot of money there, and I know that I am missing that, and it's under farmed. You can see there are a couple of thousands of users doing stuff sometimes, and it's very good ecosystem. So I need to go more into that. But I really agree with something that you said, Krypto Cove, which is that the crypto airdrop market has a timing too. So it's true that we cannot be claiming super airdrops all the time, and maybe this is a good moment to apply to these airdrops that maybe are going to reward us in September, October, November, more near a possible end of the year, where maybe many are expecting a more bull run return in that time. So I think those that are giving up right now to the airdrop forget that this is also a moment to build for the future on airdrops. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the 4 or 5 figure paydays for making a few transactions were only possible because not that many people were farming back then. But as we see like a peak and a trough in the market, some people stop farming. That just makes it better for those of us that stay. So if you keep clicking buttons, keep chasing opportunities, like something is going to pay off. It always does.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a pleasure chatting with you guys. And if anybody wants to hop in my Discord, you can do so by the Patreon link, which will be below the video. And also, I have an app that gives a calendar of airdrop claims and dates. We put time-sensitive alpha, and there's a database of projects, including rankings and tasks that you need to do to farm them. So if you want to check that out, it's called Rumor.
So yeah, thank you very much, Krypto Cove, to be in this video. I enjoy a lot this community sharing airdrop stuff that we have been doing. I think that we share like our strategies, our best airdrops to do right now, full of content. So yeah, for our communities too, we also have our private Discord and our airdrop farming application, if you are into that. And links are going to be in the description too. So yeah, this has been amazing. Thank you so much. And we are going to see you in another airdrop hunting path. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks for joining. See you.